वेलकम टू युटा मराठी मंडळ पॉडकास्ट, असा मंच जिथे युटामधील विविध क्षेत्रात उल्लेखनीय कामगिरी केलेल्या नामवंत व्यक्तिमत्वांशी आपण मनमुराद संवाद साधतो. अशाच एका व्यक्तीशी आज आपण गप्पा मारणार आहोत. ती म्हणजे डॉक्टर अशोक जोशी. युटामधील या चौफेर व्यक्तिमत्वाची थोडक्यात माहिती. डॉक्टर जोशींचा शैक्षणिक प्रवास पुण्यामधून सुरू झाला. पुण्यात त्यांनी इंजिनिअरिंग केलं. पुढे मास्टर्स PhD नॉर्थ वेस्टर्न युनिव्हर्सिटीमध्ये केलं. Later, he was a postdoctorate fellow at Pennsylvania State University. Dr. Joshi is a well-recognized innovator. He is an inventor of more than 145 US-issued patents and has over 20 pending patents. Dr. Joshi is a renowned entrepreneur as well. He founded 7 companies and has developed several technologies in the energy, environment, and biotech fields. He has received various prestigious awards. Utah Genius Award for the recognition of creative people behind Utah's economy, Industrial Research Institute Achievement Award for exceptional work as an entrepreneur, scientist, and philanthropist in the R&D industry, Utah's Asian Chamber of Commerce Award, Asian of the Year, Utah Governor's Medal for Science and Technology. Dr. Joshi is also an active philanthropist engaged in the development and building of 3 schools serving 2,000 underprivileged children in rural India. One of the schools focuses on mentally challenged children. तर अशा प्रकारे अशा या भारदस्त व्यक्तिमत्वाशी आपण आता समक्ष गप्पा मारूयात. चला तर मग. ऑलराईट.
ओके.
तर आपण आज डॉक्टर अशोक जोशींबरोबर गप्पा मारणार आहोत. त्यांना काही मजेशीर, काही त्यांच्याकडून काय काय आपल्याला काही शिकायला मिळेल अशा अनेक गोष्टींबद्दल आपण आज त्यांना प्रश्न विचारणार आहोत. तर आपण सुरुवात करूयात. नमस्कार डॉक्टर.
थँक्यू. फॉर यू बीइंग सो पेशंट and also giving me this honor for this interview. मी मराठीतच बोलेन याच्या पुढे, कारण युटा मराठी मंडळ आहे.
करेक्ट. थँक्यू.
समटाइम्स इंग्लिश, ऑफ कोर्स.
व्हॉटएव्हर यू आर कम्फर्टेबल विथ. आणि हा आमचा ऑनर आहे ऍक्च्युली. सो थँक्स टू यू फॉर गिव्हिंग अस द अपॉर्च्युनिटी टू स्पीक विथ यू. थँक्यू. तर सुरुवातीला मला म्हणजे स्वतः मनापासून वाटतं की विचारावं की तुम्ही मूळचे कुठले आहात, म्हणजे महाराष्ट्रात तुम्ही कुठे वाढलात, तुमचं बालपण कसं होतं, याबद्दल तुम्हाला काही शेअर करायचं आहे का?
शुअर. माझा जन्म साताऱ्याचा, महाराष्ट्रात, वेस्टर्न महाराष्ट्रामध्ये सातारा and वाई सातारा, and I but most of my बालपण, माझं बालपण मुंबई आणि नागपूरला गेलं. जरी मी साताऱ्याला जन्मलो, वाईमध्ये 1-1.5 वर्ष, नागपूर आणि मुंबई, आणि नंतर अर्थात कॉलेज पुणे.
म्हणजे आता कधी जाणं होतं का सातारा किंवा नागपूर या ठिकाणी? म्हणजे
दरवर्षी 4 वेळा,
4 वेळा,
3 ते 4 वेळा तरी मी जातो. आणि मी उद्या निघणार जायला, ते परत वाई आणि सातारा जातोच मी.
अच्छा. लहानपणी तुमच्यावर कोणाचा प्रभाव होता का? म्हणजे कोणी आदर्श व्यक्ती डोळ्यासमोर होती का? किंवा आई वडिलांकडनं असं काही शिकलात जे तुम्हाला आजपर्यंत फार उपयोगी पडलंय?
ऍक्च्युअली हे सांगायचं म्हणजे, माझे काका म्हणजे तर्कतीर्थ लक्ष्मण शास्त्री जोशी, व्हेरी फेमस philosopher of India. Even राधाकृष्णन किंवा पंडित नेहरू, मिसेस गांधी, हे सगळे माझ्या काकांकडे येऊन गेलेत, घरी राहून गेलेत. आणि मी काकांकडे बराच वेळ असायचो. बोथ माय अंकल वॉज philosopher and my dad was Ayurvedacharya. And both were freedom fighters of India. So they spent a lot of time with Mahatma Gandhi. And महात्मा गांधींच्या मुलाचं लग्न माझ्या काकांनी लावलं.
वाव.
तर त्यामुळे अर्थातच मला त्यांच्याकडनं बरेच मेंटरिंग झालं त्यांच्याकडनं.
अशी कुठली गोष्ट आहे का म्हणजे ती त्यांच्याकडनं तुमच्याकडे उपजत आली किंवा नकळतपणे आज तुम्हाला त्याचा खूप लाभ होतोय, असं अशी काही गोष्ट आहे?
आहे, कारण माझे काका जेव्हा मी अमेरिकेला निघालो, ते मला नेहमी सांगायचे की सगळे रिलिजन सारखेच आहेत. अमेरिका हा ज्युडो ख्रिश्चॅनिटीचा भाग आहे. त्यामुळे तू इथून सुंदर जीसस ख्राइस्टची मूर्ती ने तुझ्या ॲडवायझरसाठी. त्याला ती खूप आवडेल.
वा.
त्याच्यामध्ये बरेच अर्थ आहेत त्याच्यामध्ये, पण तो एक भाग त्यांचा होता. त्यांनी सांगितलं की सगळेजण आपण सारखेच आहोत, त्याच्यामध्ये काहीही फरक नाही. आणि तुला असं वाटून देऊ नको की तू कनिष्ठ आहेस तिथे, तू तेवढ्याच लायकीचा आहेस.
वा, सुंदर.
तर त्या दोघांकडनं मला खूपच मदत मिळाली विचार करायला. दुसरी गोष्ट म्हणजे माझी PhD झाल्यानंतर मी कामावर लागलो आणि मला म्हणले, मी एकदा भेटीला गेलो होतो, ते म्हणले, अरे तू आता PhD झालास, तुला नोकरी लागली. भारत हा फार गरीब देश आहे. आम्ही तर ब्रिटिश राजच्या तुरुंगांमध्ये काढली आमचे तरुणपण. आम्ही तुला ना सांगत नाही तू इथे तुरुंगात आहे, पण तू इथे येऊन काहीतरी कर तुझ्या नॉलेजचा उपयोग, की ज्याच्यामुळे आपली जनता जास्त इकॉनॉमिकली पॉवरफुल होईल, असं त्यांनी मला सांगितलं. म्हणून मी गेलो होतो भारतामध्ये. 4 ते 4.5 वर्ष काढली तिथे. पण अटरली फेल्युअर, कारण फिलॉसॉफरचा पुतण्या किंवा आयुर्वेदाचार्यांचा मुलगा हा बिझनेस प्रथम उडी घेतलेल्या माणसाला फारसं जमायचं नव्हतं तेव्हा, त्यावेळेस तरी. त्यामुळे कलॉसल फेल्युअर इन माय एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. पण मी काढली 4-4.5 वर्ष. आणि द इंटेन्शन वॉज डिफरंट, राईट? इंटेन्शन वॉज टू हेल्प इंडिया, not to make money. That was a wrong intention for a businessman.
Makes sense.
Especially when you have nothing staying power, which is you need a lot of money.
म्हणजे ही घटना, म्हणजे ही तुमची पहिली एंटरप्रेन्योरशिपची जी राउंड होता तो, दॅट वॉज इन इंडिया. म्हणजे तिथे तुम्ही पहिल्यांदा ट्राय केला.
Correct. I did that.
After your PhD?
After my PhD, and I worked for almost 7 years in a battery company like ड्युरासेल, तुम्हाला माहिती असेल, आणि रेओव्हॅक, या दोन्ही मोठ्या कंपनीज, त्याच्यामध्ये काम केलं. आणि मग तिथे बॅटरी कंपनी काढली मी. पण अनफॉर्च्युनेटली import duty on raw materials was extremely high, over 200% at that time. तर माझा जो प्रॉडक्ट तयार व्हायचा त्याची किंमत रॉ मटेरियल म्हणजे इम्पोर्टेड गुड्स असायचे, स्मगल्ड गुड्स फ्रॉम चायना अँड फ्रॉम Japan. My raw material cost was higher than imported smuggled goods because of import duty. So असं बरंच आहे. बऱ्याच लोकांना भेटलो, प्रणब मुखर्जीला भेटलो, यशवंतराव चव्हाणांना भेटलो त्यावेळेस. काही उपयोग झाला नाही. But that's another story altogether. पण having said that, माझे कष्ट पाहिले लोकांनी. तिथे एक फार सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योर होता, मिस्टर राठी इन नाशिक. त्यांनी माझी हे पाहिली, कष्ट पाहिले आणि त्यांनी काय केलं कोणास ठाऊक, परंतु राष्ट्रपतींचं पहिल्यांदा भारतामध्ये सुरुवात झाली त्या अवॉर्डला, द बेस्ट स्मॉल स्केल एंटरप्रेन्योर ऑफ इंडिया म्हणून राष्ट्रपतींनी मला ते प्राइज विज्ञान भवन मध्ये दिलं.
वा, याचा कुठे उल्लेख दिसला नाही मला. म्हणजे
आहे ना, मी पाठवलेल्या ह्याच्यात आहे, जस्ट
सिंगल लाईन.
त्याच्यामध्ये एक अवॉर्ड आहे ते. पण ते फार महत्वाचं अवॉर्ड आहे माझ्या दृष्टीने.
अमेझिंग.
कारण सांगतो, दोन प्रकार आहेत त्याच्या. एक म्हणजे दॅट अवॉर्ड केम बाय बिग चेक. That was very important for me to come back to US. And second was it created a extremely, I was although mad about, bureaucracy of India and all that, but it created a different feelings about India in my mind. So both were very good. And I became really, आणि मी माझं आत्ताचं जे सगळं चाललेलं आहे फिलॅन्थ्रॉपी मोठ्या प्रमाणावर, it is because of that, because I think it created a feeling that India cares no matter what.
Yeah, that small help that you got, त्यावेळी जी तुम्हाला मिळाली पाठीवर थाप, त्याचा तुम्ही आज काय म्हणतात, गिव्हिंग बॅक टू द सोसायटी ते चालू आहे तुमचं.
Yeah. That's when everybody was nice to me. All were nice to me. Only thing, they were helpless themselves.
वा, म्हणजे आपण म्हणजे मागच्या 10 वर्षात आपल्या भारतामध्ये, म्हणजे माझ्या ऐकण्यात किंवा दिसण्यात वाचण्यात आलं की आपल्याकडे स्टार्टअपची चळवळ आता सुरू झाली आपल्या इंडियामध्ये. पण तुमचा एक्सपिरियन्स हा 2 दशकांच्या आधीचा आहे माझ्या मते. सो दॅट्स अमेझिंग टू नो दॅट यू स्ट्रगल्ड ॲट दॅट लेवल.
4 दशकांच्या आधीचा आहे.
बापरे, अमेझिंग.
Yeah, exactly. 1979. आणि आता बघा, ऍक्च्युअली ऑलमोस्ट 4 दशकाच्या आधीचा आहे हा.
थँक्यू फॉर शेअरिंग. मला तर तुमच्या एज्युकेशनल बॅकग्राऊंड बद्दल विचारायचं होतं. म्हणजे तुम्ही पुण्यातनं इंजिनिअरिंग केलं, कसा होता तो म्हणजे एक्सपिरियन्स त्यावेळी?
त्यावेळेस एक्सपिरियन्स चांगला होता. फक्त एवढंच होतं की त्यावेळेस ज्यावेळेस मी जॉईन झालो तेव्हा तिथे पानशेतचा धरण फुटलं. त्यामुळे मला VJTI मध्ये काही वेळ काढावे लागले मुंबईला, आणि त्याच्यानंतर मग परत पुण्याला. सो इट वॉज रिअली व्हेरी डिफरंट एक्सपिरियन्स, आय वुड से, because of पानशेत.
मी ऐकून आहे की त्याचं ती फार मोठी घटना होती पुण्यामधली.
फार मोठी घटना पुण्यामध्ये. But that was good. Everything was really turned out to be okay. I'm not I wasn't very good student. I failed in first year engineering. I failed in second in engineering. So I took 5 years to get my BE rather than 3 years. That was allocated. So I wasn't good student.
कसं सावरलं तुम्ही या म्हणजे प्रॉब्ली तो काळ एकदम पेनफुल असेल, इयर डाऊन, आणि कारण घरच्यांच्या अपेक्षा असतील, तुम्ही कसं सावरलं स्वतःला आणि पुन्हा अभ्यासाच्या मोडमध्ये कसे आलात? का तुमचं मन आधीपासूनच आपल्याला पुढे काय करायचं या गोष्टींकडे होतं, का म्हणजे प्रॅक्टिकल गोष्टींकडे, का मला
And
एज्युकेशन कम्प्लीट करायचंय?
I can't recall anything, but those were dumb days. I got it. My dumb years. And so I couldn't tell you what happened there and everything. Only thing is that the last year was excellent. It was a turning period in my life that I felt importance of studying.
What exactly happened?
Cannot tell you what exactly happened that time. It just happened. I became a very good student. I got, that was a phenomenal year for me, as well as I got into first class and everything and turned out to be good.
Do you have any learning strategies that you still use from those days? काही अभ्यासाच्या आयडियाज, म्हणजे एक पद्धत आहे तुमच्या अभ्यास करायची, वाचायची, किंवा
I can tell you what I learned in my life.
Go ahead, yeah.
All the experiences that I had so far, and I'm in my 80th year, so I'll tell you what I learned so far in my life.
Go ahead. Yeah, thank you.
So what I learned is, really, if you look at silence, if you take silence and divide it into two, what remains? Silence. dB is equal to 0. Decibels is equal to 0, right? You can divide it infinite times. Silence. It's still silence. This is the only physical quantity. Only physical quantity. You tell me any other quantity. That is called ananta, infinite. So what I learned is that if you want to achieve something, you have to be with ananta, which is a God. Unfortunately, this is my critique on so-called practicing Hinduism, is that we go to temple and we make a lot of noise. Ganesh, we celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi with tremendous noise before the idol which represents silence, which is Ananta. And so I learned that this is very important thing. I learned that silence is very important to practicing silence. म्हणून vipassana नावाचं meditation आहे. That is nothing but silent, because that really what it does, that you go towards God, towards Ananta, to look at yourself. And once you look at yourself, you will find what you need to improve. This is a mantra that I learned. Fundamental mantra, practice silence. I think you also asked me questions about how do you resolve the conflicts? Because conflicts is the way of life, our life, because constantly we resolve the conflict.
Right.
So I think, again, आपल्या मराठीमध्ये म्हण आहे, मौनम सर्वार्थ साधनम. इट इज दॅट आपले ऋषी मुनी पण सायलन्स मध्ये असायचे, कारण ते गॉडच्या जवळ असायचे. कळलेलं आहे त्यांना व्हॉट सायलन्स डज. बट तरुणपणी आतापर्यंत येता येता आपण जास्त नॉईज मध्येच असतो, कारण नॉईज इज अ मोटिवेशन, सायलन्स इज अ इन्स्पिरेशन. Silence is related to your soul.
As a student, as a working professional, how do I use this knowledge about silence in my day-to-day life?
So what I tell young people really is that practice of silence is very important. So you get up. When you get up, for half an hour, remain silent. And the next half an hour, you say things like, that I'm going to today, I'm going to make decisions and not judgment about anybody. I'm going to pray Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. All are equal. Everybody is equal. I'm going to say that ahankar, my ahankar, does not come in my way. I'm not going to waste time in chit-chatting or anything like that. There is no way. I have so much ahead of me I need to achieve. Everyone that I meet, I'll give them quiet blessing. Everyone that I meet. And I don't know whether you heard Arthur Brooks, but he has a formula for happiness, creating happiness in you. And that is faith, family, community, and work. Focus on that. The rest of it is not important. And one of my mentor was a virtual mentor, was Dr. Wayne Dyer. And his statement was always my mantra. And the mantra was, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. मराठीमध्ये पण आपल्या आहे हे फार सुंदर आहे. दृष्टी तशी सृष्टी. How you look at the things, that's your world.
Wow. बरोबर. एकदम संक्षिप्त रूपात मराठीमध्ये.
But Wayne Dyer is a very interesting, extremely powerful, inspirational speaker, and also motivational speaker. Motivation is a ego characteristics. Inspiration is a soul characteristics. So you have to talk about both, not just motivation. Because when corporate leaders basically give you higher positions, bonus systems, this, that, to motivate you, that hits your ego. Inspiration is totally different. Inspiration is when you have an employee and he made a mistake. Would you scold him and throw him out? Or would you hold him and say, I'll help you. I'll help you. That's inspiration to him and to you too.
Awesome. That's where I would like to work. मला तुमच्या इनोव्हेशन या आस्पेक्ट बद्दल बोलायचं आहे. 145 पेटंट्स आज तुमच्या नावावर आहेत, US इश्यूड पेटंट्स. म्हणजे मी माझ्या काही कलिग्स क्लासमेट्स माझ्या बरोबरच्या त्या एक पॅटंट्स मिळवण्यासाठी खूप कष्ट घ्यायला लागतात. तुमच्याकडे 145 पेटंट आहेत. आय एम प्रिटी शुअर तुमचं एक इनोव्हेशन बद्दल काही मत असेल आणि एक तुमचं एक प्रोसेस असणार आहे असं मला वाटतंय. पण मला तुमचे त्याबद्दलचे थॉट्स ऐकायचे आहेत. म्हणजे कसं, हाऊ डज इट वर्क in your mind?
Sure. Since you asked me about innovation, so patents and innovations are related, but they are not the same. Okay? Some of my patents are with larger company. There you are in competition to create an idea. You have a passion. How can I create idea? How can I get the patent on this one? And corporations all have what you call policy, whether to patent or not. So first of all, you have to have passion on the patent side. Innovation is different. Patent means invention, not innovation. Okay?
Okay.
Innovation is you take the idea, that is, take the invention and create a product. That product has to have customer base which are willing to pay for that product. That condition, when it happens, that's called innovation, regardless of whether you are taking a patented idea or any other idea. That's how it is, basically. There are many ideas which are not patented. But the innovator is such that he creates that design so that the customer is willing to pay for that design. Once that happens, that's called innovation.
And to get to that state where you want to create a design that people want to buy, is that your intrinsic motivation, or you game your mind to get to that your level of creativity?
So that's a good question. Actually, I may not be expert in that. I may not have skills in that. So you have to recognize what skills you have. My skills are only inventions. And communication of the product, idea, communications of idea and the product. And that communication is very important. So when you communicate that to a larger company, if the larger company said that, yeah, this is good, let's try to make it innovation. But that's where I don't go. I don't have those skills. So you have to understand yourself. That is the first thing that is required.
Yeah. म्हणजे मी थोडासा मागे जातोय. तुम्ही म्हणालात तुम्ही इंडियामध्ये परत गेलात तुमच्या एज्युकेशन नंतर आणि यू केम बॅक टू US. आय थिंक यू स्टार्टेड विथ सिरॅमॅटिक. आय थिंक यू स्टार्टेड ॲज तुम्ही तिथे सुरुवात केली ॲज अ इंडिव्हिज्युअल कंट्रीब्युटर अँड देन यू वेंट ऑन टू बिकम ए सोल प्रोप्रायटरी, आय मीन सोल ओनर अँड प्रेसिडेंट CEO. हा प्रवास बऱ्याच जणांचं स्वप्न असतं. हा कसा झाला, म्हणजे ह्याच्यामध्ये तुम्ही कसं ट्रान्झिशन केलं स्वतःला, लिडरशिप तुम्ही कशी स्वतःमध्ये?
So two factors, Amit, two factors. First, I got a great training in India. Just imagine the 5 years of struggle, huge struggle. It wasn't easy for a son of Ayurvedacharya who has no money at all. Whatever I had and all the loans to build the factory, to sell there in a very corrupt environment, hugely corrupt, 79 to 83 is the most corrupt period in India. Nothing. I can tell you stories after stories on my incidences. But it was a corrupt period. You learn, navigate through that corruption. I tried that. Understood what business is all about. Came to Ceramatec. And although I was an individual contributor, I could understand little bit of business. That's one. And secondly, my karma. Both are important. My karma and my skill.
I think that's your modesty, but I am definitely sure it was a lot of hard work and
Hard work was there, absolutely.
motivation.
Actually, we were just talking about it 10 days ago when my daughter was visiting me. And she said, she always used to ask. We were just recollecting our old days. And she said, Mom, Dad was ever with us. I saw him when we came back to United States. So for first 35 years, she didn't know I was with at home because I would leave at 5:30 and come back very late when she was sleeping. Mostly. So it's a hard work, definitely. But you see, Amit, so many people work hard. They are not that lucky. That's why I said karma. Just because I worked hard doesn't mean anything. It means something if you have a karmic engine. If the karmic debt is there rather than asset, then you try to fulfill your karmic debt by your hard work. So presently you don't get anything. When you have a karmic asset pushes that hard work to what you want.
It's amazing. तुम्ही इंटरेस्टिंग वर्ड वापरलात, कर्मा. मी बऱ्याच वेळा लोकांना ऐकतो की लोक म्हणतात माझं लक होतं, बट you are using the word karma. That's interesting.
Yeah. Karma is one of the best so-called Hindu concept. bar none. I mean, some people don't like that word, but that's what it is actually. If you look at it, Newton's law, action is equal to uh, whatever reaction. And that's exactly karmic law is, except that Newton never realized that there is, he didn't put the time period in it. There is no, in that equation, there is no time period. So.
Interesting. माझा पुढचा प्रश्न तुम्हाला असा आहे की what are some of the life lessons you learned the hard way? जी आता तुम्ही somebody who is starting, you would just tell them right away.
Well, I
This would be
thought I already went through that. I would
silence
say
part.
that, huh?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, silence part. Silence part is the most, another thing, very controversial thing that I believe, and I know that majority of the people will oppose me, is that I always say that don't be in history, be in present. History is just an entertainment.
Right. Learn from
Because
it.
most people say that you can learn from history. Can you? I couldn't learn even from my experience. Forget about somebody else's history. Yesterday, I had 2 glasses of wine, nice meal. So much I ate that my stomach started hurting. That time, before going to bed, I said that I will never do that. You know what? Next week, same. Even with my experience, I do the same thing. If you cannot learn from experience, how can you learn from somebody else's history?
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
That George Washington did this. I don't. That's just an entertainment, and beautiful entertainment.
Nice. आय गेस आपण थोड्या प्रमाणात या प्रश्नाकडे ऑलरेडी आन्सर केलेलं आहे, पण तुमचा काही ऍडवाइस फॉर द यंग जनरेशन, जी सध्याची स्कूल, कॉलेजेस और इवन इन द वन्स हु आर इन युटा, जे वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल्स आहेत?
Don't waste time. I did. I used to live in Shivaji Park during Ruparel college years. And so Ramakant Desai, I used to see them all the time. Ramakant was my friend, but other ones.
Okay.
Play cricket, watch cricket for 5 days, match, and talk about it for next 15 days. 5 matches. For what?
I see what you mean.
For what? What was I gaining? Nothing. No knowledge. Zero knowledge. Don't waste time. Social media now. Don't waste time.
Thank you. Yeah.
Pursue your passion. That's what I give the advice to young people. Don't waste time and prepare your mind. Second is prepare. You should watch John Roberts, who is a Supreme Court Chief Justice. John Roberts.
Mhm.
Watch his video to young people. He says that prepare your mind to take insults. Prepare your mind to take jealousies. Prepare your minds.
Amazing. Yeah.
That will strengthen your mind to move ahead. Preparing your mind but I call it really vipassana. Vipassana really prepares your mind. And not wasting time is very important.
तुमच्या या उत्तरावर एक प्रश्न आहे माझा की पॅशन बद्दल म्हणालात तुम्ही. एखाद्याने पॅशन कशी स्वतःकडची हुडकावी, म्हणजे त्याच्याबद्दल एखाद्याला माहित नसेल मला काय पॅशन आहे, आय एम जस्ट डुईंग थिंग्स एव्हरी डे जस्ट बिकॉज आय नीड टू, आय हॅव टू, बट हाऊ डू यू फाइंड, त्याबद्दल तुमचा काय ओपिनियन आहे?
आता गमतीने सांगतो, मी माझ्या काकांना प्रश्न विचारायचा होता जेव्हा मला लग्न करायचं होतं. कसे काय आपल्या इकडे अरेंज मॅरेजेस, तिथे कसं काय डिसिजन घ्यायचा मुलींबद्दल. मी आता 3 मुली पाहिल्या, कसं काय ठरवणार मी कुठली करायची. माझे काका म्हणले, अरे वेड्या, तुझ्या हृदयामध्ये ठाक 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 असं झालं, ती मुलगी शोधायची, ती मुलगी तुला पाहिजे. तसं पॅशनचं आहे.
क्या बात. Keep on seeing and trying.
You will know. This is what I want to do. You will know.
Thank you. आणि अजून एक इम्पॉर्टंट क्वेश्चन माझ्या मते, क्रिटिकल स्किल्स one must have that our schools, colleges don't teach.
Yeah. So, लाईफ स्किल्स आता बऱ्याच युनिव्हर्सिटीमध्ये चाललंय की लाईफ स्किल्स टीच करायच्या. इवन MIT पुणे, आय डोंट नो वेअर यू फ्रॉम, अमित. Which engineering college did you go to?
I went to VIT Pune.
VIT Pune, okay. So MIT Pune is now has an emphasis on life skills. आणि त्याच्यामध्ये they are insisting to study the entire 3 credit course on the peace studies. Peace. Because unless you have a peace, you learn how to be peaceful, you're not going anywhere. You're always disturbed man.
त्यावरून मला असा एक प्रश्न आहे, जेव्हा तुम्ही सुरू केलं इंडिव्हिज्युअल कंट्रीब्युटर आणि आज, पण तुम्ही माणूस म्हणून जे इंटरनली स्वतःला ओळखता आज, त्याच्यामध्ये डिफरन्स आहे का? म्हणजे थॉट प्रोसेस जर तो भाग मॅच्युअर झाला असेल, पण ऍज अ ह्युमन तुम्हाला असं वाटतंय का की तुम्ही चेंज झाला बरेच, का यू स्टील द सेम पर्सन?
No, I think you change. I mean, everybody changes as they age. Definitely, it's a different ball game when you get older and older. असं माझं मत आहे. Of course, there are some people say that he hasn't changed a bit. He is the same good man as he was, or same bad man he was. And so, but I think it's natural if your mindset is to change and become better human being, then you are definitely going to change yourself. You are going to seek. मला विपासना माहिती नव्हती काय आहे ते. I did know that really early in life that there is something called philanthropy and what it means. Wayne Dyer is one of the guys who influenced me in terms of kindness. That what happens when you be kind to somebody, it's not that the person you are kind to gets everything. It's your serotonin increases immensely. And so you become happier. Those are the things that you learn as you go through life. Second thing is that when I had to become a leader of Ceramatec, scientist, this, that, when it was handed to me, they made me CEO. I really was wondering whether I'm really worth CEO. Really, really worth. I'm worried about it tremendously. Am I really? When I had highly skilled scientists in my organization and senior to me. So, but then I started learning about leadership. So I read one small book called Blink, Malcolm Gladwell. Blink. About the leadership. And he studied he's a psychologist, very famous American psychologist. He studied a lot of leaders, corporate leaders. And he found that the great leaders have one common thing. That is, they take the decision at the blink of an eye, while even the committees of people take 2 years.
Wow.
So blink of an eye. That's why the book called Blink.
Yeah. Interesting.
But then I didn't have that chance. I mean, how can I be? So that is the reason why I call it success of a human being is ability to connect with your soul. And that's where the karma theory comes in. Because these guys who are the great leaders of the world, they come with the karma, so much asset that they can access to their soul at an instant. And what soul is? It's Ananta. It can give you immediate answer, what needs to be done.
Oh, interesting.
Those are my thoughts. That's why I
Definitely
said
खूप
that.
हार्ड कॉन्सेप्ट आहे सध्या माझ्यासाठी. आय प्रॉब्ली हॅव टू गो बॅक आणि थोडंसं वाचावं लागेल याच्याबद्दल. It's definitely worth going back and listening and reading more about it. Thank you. मला आता जनरल तुमचं एक फन क्वेश्चन विचारायचं. तुमचा फेवरेट पास टाइम काय ज्याच्यामध्ये तुम्ही काय मनोरंजन स्वतःचं कसं करता काही?
Well, I think at my age, I really go on surfing the waves, interesting news, interesting. I'm mostly really still extremely attached to India. As I said, I go 3-4 times. So talking with my friends in India, talking what they are doing every day, almost all 7 days, I talk with them. And philanthropic activities, those guys are very interesting for me. I'm involved in transformation of MIT WPU as a world's class institution. So I work with their executive president every day. Every day.
It's awesome.
So those are my activities which I love. That's the passion that I have right now at my age.
Definitely passion is the answer then to आनंदी राहण्याचं.
Naturally.
Thank you.
Yeah.
मी तुमचे आभार मानतो. तुम्ही आमच्या बरोबर एवढा वेळ स्पेंड केलात आणि खूप छान सुंदर गोष्टी सांगितल्यात ज्याचा आम्हाला पुन्हा विचार करायला लागेल आणि बऱ्याच जणांना काही गोष्टी याच्यातून शिकायला मिळणार आहेत. त्याबद्दल धन्यवाद. थँक्यू.
Thank you, Amit, for this interview, this honor, and so on. Okay,
थँक्यू.
you take care and best of luck to you.
थँक्यू.